Week 68 of reselling online, and once again it's been a journey to get hit. Now, I do want to say that this week has been interesting because we have finished up the month of April, which is just crazy. It's just zoomed straight by, which has been crazy. And this week, actually, this episode is all about reflection and review. Now, if you are new here, I've had quite a few subscribers pop in over the last couple of weeks, so thanks. And hey, how you doing? I'm Chris. Now, I'm sharing my reselling journey and a few other things too, but primarily the reselling in mind. Now what that looks like is I do a video on how I'm sourcing, I do videos on the actual progress each week, and I also do videos for tips, tricks, and guides and things to help you along the way. But today is just about progress. And actually today, it's not just weekly, it's actually the progress for April as well, which means we're going to be touching on a lot of numbers. Numbers that are good, numbers that are bad, and don't be overwhelmed by this. If you are new to this whole reselling game, numbers are important for you, but it's all about starting slow and growing and getting into the groove of what works for you. And that's what we'll touch on a little bit today as well. But of course, if you've got any questions along the way, I'm going to be sharing the reality of all of it. And yeah, let's get into it. So top 5 items for week 68 of reselling online. Well, the first item that we got here is pretty cool. I actually picked up these books, J.R. Wood books, the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. Now, I've paid $14.60 for these from an op shop, and they've gone on to sell about 24 hours after listing. Sold them for $90, and after fees and postage, I've come out with $51.53 profit. Top item number 2 was a book from Savers, or an op shop I got. It was The Man from Snowy River. It was one of the, not the earliest version, but one of the earlier versions. This one cost me $3.78, so I did pay up for it, but I did get a flat $70 for it, which was pretty good. Profit was $46.43 after postage and fees. Top item number 3 for this week was this vintage Rip Curl single stitch shirt. Now, I could have actually held out a bit longer and probably got a bit more for this, but with $3.50 in, I sold this for $55 plus postage, came out with a profit of $42.24 in my pocket. So not too bad with that. I know I probably could have got a little higher on it, but I'm happy to just see it move less than 8 hours after listing. Top item number 4 this week was some more books. I paid $2.20 for this. This was the, I don't even know how to say it, the Witches of something books. Sold them for just shy of $60 and profited $29.82 after fees and postage. And top item number 5 was this Wiggles tin, which I've had sitting around for quite a while. Paid $1.16 for it, sold it for $35 plus postage, profited $26.95 into my pocket. Lessons this week, and a lot of them are all going to tie into the lessons for this month, but I wanted to be clear that it's not all sunshine. Like over the last few weeks, even this week, I've been reflecting on lots of things that have been working, lots of things that haven't been working, and I've got a little exercise that I go through each month to do this, and we're going to touch on that shortly. But I know there's lots of things that I can be doing better, and that's with sourcing, listing, and time management. I'm going to touch on these really shortly, but I just want to be real frank that, you know, I share my journey for a reason, right? Because I want to show you that some weeks are good, some weeks I feel are a little bad. Now, some of those bads might be actually a lot better than other people, but at the same time, my best weeks are also worse than some other people's, you know, lower weeks. So it's all relative in terms of how everyone is progressing on that journey. So please, I'm not here to show, look at me, and I'm not here to have a whinge either. I'm here to share how I'm experiencing it, because we're all on a different part of that timeline journey. So this week in general has actually been not too bad. It's been about an average week. We've done 44 items in sales, ASP really low of $25.50. Margins sitting at 56%, which, you know, it's a bit of a lower one compared to my previous weeks. Cost of goods, $124. Revenue, we've done $1,122, and profit was $629. Now, if you look over to the side, you can see all the items that have been selling for this week. Not too bad. We've had quite a lot of books go out the door, DVDs go out the door as well. Video games was really little this week, so interesting week. Now, as you can see here, progress over time. So we've had quite a couple of good weeks over the last couple of weeks. We've dropped back down this week, and actually, I'm not actually doing an average week this week. I'm just slightly below average, being my average week of around $1,131. Profit wise, also being slightly just under average. My average profit is $668 per week. So look, interesting week, but not to be disgruntled by it, right? I think listings and sales perspective, you know, I've done 106 listings in here. I have had to do quite a lot of relists, and I'm going to touch on that shortly in terms of the month review. But sold, you know, 44 items, and it's still pretty consistent. Still pretty happy with all this. In terms of weekly flow, you can see here, we started off with a climb, we dropped right down, and then we've kind of done the complete opposite of what the start of the week has done. And this is that roller coaster view. This shows you that it is that up and down drive. In terms of progress and all that jazz, well, we're at $76,909 in total of revenue of my journey to date. In terms of 2022 goals, as you can see here on screen, the main thing is the profit goal of $60,000. We're at 27%. And sourcing items and selling them in 2022 with a $40 ASP, we're sitting at a $43 ASP. So very happy with that one. Otherwise, you can see for yourself. I'm going to quickly jump into some show and tell, and then we're going to dive into the stats for April. All right, team. So it's Monday evening, just coming off the long weekend, and here is all the stuff that I've got to post out. So just going to quickly take you through. I've got a whole bunch of DVDs and media in here, all ranging between $9 and $29. I've got a whole bunch of CDs going out. This is one single bundle of $35 of unforgettable CDs. Arm Track Wars, that went for 45, I think it was, or 50. Attack on Titan has gone for $50 posted. I've got one of these. I've sold about 5 or 6 of these over the last year and a half now. It's got some Lego going out, some Star Wars Lego. Went for 45, I think it was. Something random, How to Cheat and Hustle at Golf. That book sold just before I was getting this out. These guys went for 109. This guy went for 295 posted to Ireland. We've got a little Bart Simpson going out today. We've got this and this book going out together. Not working. Sold that for 15, 17 bucks. Good old Wiggles going out. We've got some David Eddings. These go all the time when they're full sets. We've got some band shirts going out here. This is one right here. This one went for 40, I think it was. And I've got some Levi jeans going out too. So not too bad. I think I've got 1 or 2 more DVDs I've got to pull out as well. But not too bad. Long weekend for the win. And here's a whole bunch of other stuff I've been sorting as well. Yeah. All right, let's do it. All right, team, it is Friday morning and just about to quickly pack up all this to send. I've still got a couple of DVDs I've got to get out, but I figured I'll just show you the bigger and better items. So we've got this Wiggles tin going out. I think that went for 40. Had that for a while, actually. These Commando mags have gone for 50 plus $9 postage. We've just got a cheap DVD here, Blu-ray, actually. This guy went for 20 or 25. We've got some Lego going out, 25, I think it was. Snowy River, a book, one of the early editions. This guy has gone for $70. We've got some Catherine Kerr, it's gone for 40. We've got some Lego base plates gone for 40. Some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think this one for 22, 25. Some Shakespeare going for 25. Star Wars book going for 20. Another 20. Another 20. Yeah, so lots of 20s really, and then there's probably about 5 or 6 DVDs that will go out, and they're probably about $9 each or so. So not too bad. Let's get it packed up and yeah, let's make it happen. So I got a bulk lot of t-shirts. Let's open it up. And compliments to Op Shop Nerd Toby, because that's who I bought it off. Ta-da! This one might be my favorite. Dragon Ball Z. Oh, quick little perspective check. As you can see here, not all weeks are high and almighty, but for this week, week 68 has ranked 34 out of the total of 68 weeks. So about that halfway milestone. All right, let's dive into April. Now, if you've got questions along the way, I'm going to be sharing a lot of numbers here, and I want to do this because I want to make sure people understand how there's so many different views. April in itself was a lower month compared to the last 2 months. I've done sales of 184 in quantity, ASP around $30.41, margin being a lot lower than I would like, 56%, usually I'm aiming for that 60 plus. Cost of goods was just shy of $600. Revenue wise, we've still done pretty solid, just shy of $5,600, and profit we've come in with $3,152. You can see what the fees and postage there are on the side as well, which are quite up there. Now, in terms of April and what's been selling, once again, it comes down to books, DVDs, and toys. Video games was a little lower this time this month. Otherwise, there's a good variety of different things, but books being the majority of where the profit is coming in. As you can see, this is sorted by profit. In terms of whole life running view, these are my month-to-month views, so you can look back and see what I've been tracking to, what I've been doing, where the averages are, and all that jazz. You can dive into this one for yourself. All in all, I'm below average in terms of what I've been doing over the last couple of months. And this is that running view. As you can see, we've had a few roller coaster rides to get to where I am, but if anything, I have found I found a groove. I found a spot where it's not really changing. It's pretty consistent. I'm doing exactly the same. So I'm going to chat about that very, very soon in terms of the lessons. April, in a nutshell, we've done 472 items listed, $186 on average per day, and we did about 6 average sales per day and 61 days of average cycle time, meaning it took 61 days for an item to sell, which is a bit too high if you ask me. All right, in terms of reflecting, this is what I really wanted to spend the most time on. I like to break it down into rose, thorn, and bud, which is success, challenges, and opportunities. The reason why I do this is it helps me just come back and, appreciate the things, have some gratitude, reflect on things maybe that aren't working, but also look at some of the opportunities that are before me. So success is a very consistent month. It's been consistent to the last compared to the last 2 months. I have got some new stock, but it's been a bit of a challenge in terms of keeping that sourcing volume, which we'll chat on shortly. But the ASP is good. I've been able to source quite a few items this year in 2022 and still retain that above $40 ASP for items sold and purchased in 2022. And I've actually been able to retain a higher operating month in terms of the business view, how I'm actually operating. And I'm sitting around 43% compared to the average for the year has been 36%. And I'll show you that shortly as well. In terms of challenges, as I said, sourcing volumes, I've slowed down in terms of getting, and that's because I haven't been able to get some of the bulk deals that I have in the past. I'm working on a few leads, which I'm going to chat on shortly, but it has felt like a bit of a grind because I've been sourcing to list, and that's not what you want. So looking into opportunities, I've got some new leads. I've been able to give out my number and some details to some different people for if they do have some things that pop up. But I also have to think about, well, if I want more, I have to pivot to allow for more. And that means I need to make some adjustments in my workflows, adjustments in seeing if I can level up and see what I can do with that motivation. So it really comes down to mindset. And a lot of this I can't blame on anyone else but myself. And of course, sourcing and stuff does mean there is different opportunities in what I source and what I sell. But I think there's still a chance for me to change things up. And that's what I'm focusing on for May. So numbers, let's talk numbers, lots of numbers. There's 3 views across, I guess, when it comes to reselling, especially on eBay, that people refer to. There's the 90-day view that you see on the eBay app. As you can see here, it's $20,583. There's the running view, which is essentially the view that I show on my dashboard that most people would see, which is basically what would come off from the eBay performance tab. As you can see, revenues $5,595 for April, and then profit being $3,152. If we look at the business view, this is when you start to take in everything else for account. All the additional expenses, the things that don't necessarily you think are costing you. This is all the additional sleeves, all the additional packaging. If you're buying stock in advance, if you're purchasing, marketing materials for business cards, or if you're putting fuel, or if you've got rent, or if you've got storage. That is the business view. And as you can see here, it drops almost $800, $700 in terms of profit. So slightly different view. And I'm going to touch on that view very soon, actually right now. So as you can see here, this is what it looks like. So I'm sitting at 43% margin for April, which is pretty good compared to the average being around 36 in terms of the running average. But where I really had the biggest expense this month was postage. Postage has been a beast, and that's simply because I've been selling some bigger ticket items, or when I've had to outlay that bigger postage cost, and I haven't actually got as many discounts as I would have liked, simply just because of where it's gone, or just some of the situations. And that's okay, it's not the end of the world. It just means my postage paid was a little higher than I would have liked, and I did pay up for a bit more stock this month as well. As you can see, I've outlaid about $300-$400 more in stock. And that's because average cost of goods was a little higher this month. So interesting to see what's, progressing, and it is getting quite competitive out there. But, this is all part of it. You're going to have a good month, a bad month, a month where you feel strong, and a month where you feel like, I need to buckle down and see what I can fix. And then April to date, in terms of, this is actually taken on the 1st of May, how I like to manage my cash flow. And this is for FY22. This is a full perspective view. This is an example only because when I started doing the profit first method, meaning allocating out the income that comes in into different buckets, this is what it started at in terms of the splittings. 40% goes into OPEX, my operating expenses, how much I spend on a weekly basis for, buying new supplies, buying new stock and all that jazz, shipping and all that. Profits is a bonus that I pay myself. Owner's pay is what I pay myself. And 15% I allocate for tax. For those that are asking about tax, yes, I'm allocating for tax. So this is an example because I have tweaked this slightly based on my numbers and working with my accountant. But all in all, I've done around $59,722 in income that has come from eBay, and then I've split it up into these different categories, and you can see on average what that looks like. If you've got questions about Profit First, I do have a full video on this, which is in one of my tips and guides and all that jazz. You can go check it out. So as I said, that is April. That is also week 68 of Reselling Online. And if you didn't catch it, I do have 3 different types of content that I release in the reselling world. I also have some running content and some other things and live streams. But, you know, if there's something here that intrigues you, if there's something here that you want more information on, if there's something here which maybe you're not sure about, reach out, ask a question. Maybe you're just quite interested in one particular area, reach out, let's have the conversation. More than happy to answer any questions. I will be doing a questions video soon, so if you do have any questions, I'll try and bundle that up. Otherwise, I hope reselling is going well for you. And I know it can be a bit of a grind sometimes. I know it can also be quite a breeze. It can be really good and you have those high months. This week, and this month in particular, did feel like a bit more of a grind just because I haven't had anything change. As you saw, it's been quite flat for the last couple of months. So it does become a bit of a mindset challenge, but this is it. You are in control when you're doing this. You get to make the changes that you want to your business, and I'm excited to see what I can do for May. So bring it on. Let's see what we can do. Appreciate you being here. You have a wonderful day. Cheers.